There you go. Okay, we revert back to the annual statement of financial closure. We need a motion to accept, right?
Let's accept the audit first. If somebody's ready for that, we will take a motion in a second on the audit presentation.
I'll make a motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye. Thanks. The annual statement of financial disclosure. This is the annual, as it says in its name, where we have to go through and disclose any financial conflicts or anything that might pose, I guess, risk between the IDA relationship and the county relationship. So this is due at the end of the month. There's a blank in the packet, but there's also, I think there's a blank on the website.
I believe Michelle Reese emailed it out. We will also email it out so that it's at the top of your inbox and it is fillable and you can send it back to Michelle. If you'd rather fill out a paper copy, we can take it to Michelle, that's fine.
You know, if you did this last year, it'll look extremely similar. So if you pull up last year's, you'll probably be able to see a lot of very same answers, but that is due by the end of the month. I don't know if Michelle's got you taking care of or what, but
oh yes,
you will straighten that out.
Know.
Okay.
The board of supervisors doesn't fill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's one on our desk.
every year. Yeah,
Every year.
little training package, but it covers the whole thing. Covers it for the year.
No, yeah, covers all of us for the year. Yep. We do.
Yep.
So that's just for informational purposes. The annual investment report, Maureen, I was going to turn that to you.
Okay, you've got a copy of this in your packet. This is required by Authority Budget Office. It's something that we have to adopt annually and attach to our Paris reporting. It's basically stating that we will, for the Industrial Development Agency, have investment guidelines in place, and we do have an investment policy, and that we will provide an annual report of all of our investments. And that is provided down below. We have one bank account for the Industrial Development Agency. It's held at 5 Star. You can see the balance there as of December 31st, 2025 and the interest rate. And we brought in over the course of the year $532.21 in interest.
So if there's any confusion about why it says M&T on here, that is by design and not a misprint. M&T collateralizes the deposits for 5 Star on the back end. So if there's any risk of loss to 5 Star for anything that's over and above FDIC insurance, M&T would step in and cut the check to make you whole. So thank you. We get a statement from M&T once a month that tells us that we are fully collateralized.
We do need a motion and approval on that.
Are there any other questions on this? Take a motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Policy review.
The policy review. Morning, did they get a copy of this one?
Yes, everybody should have. This was not in the packet. It was just a,
If you jump over to this page, the landscape page, you'll see that Bill and Maureen kind of went through the IDA and the LCDC and the CRC to look at the policy manuals. The IDA is obviously the most complete policy manual that we have. The LCDC, these are more of a need to have than, or a nice to have than a need to have, but we felt that we should update that. That's in red. So when I get to the LCDC, I'll talk a little bit about that. But at this point, we're not proposing any changes to the IDA policy. We bring these to you throughout the year, but we have to do, either we can affirm the policy at the time that we bring it to you with any changes, or we affirm all of them at once a year at our annual meeting. So what we're doing today is affirming all of these with no proposed changes.
So we need a motion for that. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. You just approved the audit and finance ones. I'm sorry. The governance ones are in the same row, second set of columns here, or same column, second set of rows. Once we open the governance.
So they're the ones that are red?
No, those are the ones up top were the audit policies, down below are the governance policies, two separate things.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the governance committee meeting on a whole policy review.
That's where that second second set that starts with anti-nepotism and finishes with uniform tax exemption policy. Those we are saying, not proposing any changes, need to just approve or bring them to you when we do. Today, I'm not proposing.
Okay, so we need a motion to accept that policy. Okay. All in favor?
When we do the minutes, folks, just make sure that we approve the audit, up top
Yep.
during the audit, okay, committee, and then these for the governance. Agree, thanks.
Okay, we'll get to the regular meeting, communications, no, meeting approval of minutes. They've been pre-distributed, any corrections or additions? Hearing none, I take a motion to accept. Second? All in favor? Review of financials,
Financials are in your packet, should be, February 2026 is the heading. In the packet? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, we need to go back. In the governance committee, we're gonna talk about the property acquisition cost.
I'm sorry, Bob. It's okay. Oh,
I'm jumping around
I'm
between
sorry.
these packets too, so.
I apologize. I totally missed it. The property acquisition policy. We talked a little about this at the last meeting. We had a proposer, I guess, a template that we had pirated from another agency. Erica took it back, reworked it, came up with a good policy for us. And we are looking to accept the property acquisition policy, which is a policy that we didn't have.
Correct. We had a disposition policy, but we didn't have an acquisition policy.
My fault. That is in your packet. Following the investment report. Titled Real Property Acquisition Policy. Thank you, Erica, for putting this together for us. We reviewed it, didn't have any suggested changes to it. Bill, I know you were looking at it.
Now, the only thing that's gonna change is on general from number 6 to number 7. Erica, I'll take this one. I don't know what happened, but there should only be a 6, not a 7. 7, the municipality or county for which it was created should be a final component. So that's the only change from what you have.
Proposed as is with fix for the typo.
That's it.
All right. Sorry about that.
well, where will that go then? Here, it'll be up here.
That'll be added into the governance portion of the policy.
Property disposition isn't on it.
We've got that already.
Yeah, it's under audit.
I mean, I know on the agenda it's under
Yeah.
governance, but it seems like it should be.
It's under, on your screen here, it's under audit. So yeah, I guess that's where it
We'll
should
put it.
go in the
back
book.
on the minutes.
So,
So we've approved that, so we're good to roll that, or do we need the individual motion?
we need individual motion to approve the property acquisition policy.
Okay, and entertain that motion. Everybody knows where we are on that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll send
All in favor?
it.
We'll be in here next year.
It'll be under the audit and finance policies in our manual, which they're all in the same manual, so it's all bound together. We've just divided them by which committee looks at which policy. Unfortunately, we've got it wrong on the agenda. It should have been under audit and finance committee. It's under governance, as Norman pointed out. What we're really trying to do, and ABO kind of says you just need to keep checking our website and figure out what's missing. And with Bill's addition, he's been watching the website like a hawk and figuring out what's here and what isn't. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we're keeping up with things. And this is all kind of in what you see in red in this inventory of what we've got in each of our manuals is essentially a correction and an amendment to get ourselves up to speed. So when ABO shows up and knocks on the door, that so I can't really say it any better than that. Bill, anything?
No, that's exactly it. And Maureen was able to go through to see our other entities to make sure that they're all in line too. So we'll be working on updating the website. We're anticipating that we're going to be audited soon. There's maybe 4 or 5 that have a 2015 last audit from ABO. And that's December of 2015, and we were last looked at in January of 2016. So
It's coming.
we're really waiting for the phone call or for the email that tells us how we did on the audit. So
You
and
get,
that kind of rules it to what.
you get to these conferences and somebody says, well, that's all part of your property acquisition policy. You go, well, we don't have a property acquisition policy. So you quick quarter sort of kind of scurry to find who's got one, what it looks like, what it really identifies, and then you go put it in your book.
Right.
So appreciate you guys helping us get some things caught up. So Gary, that covers us. Bill, apologies for missing that. Thank you. We're back to the financial statements, which are at the end of your packet. This is for February. You have 2 columns on this, one for February and one for January, February, so a year to date. And I know Jody has put in budget in, so at some point we'll have a 3rd column for budget. That'll be the presentation format for the financials. But basically, February for the IDA wasn't a huge month at all. It didn't take in a lot of income, just interest. Expenses were pretty straightforward until you get to utilities. It's just been too cold, and unfortunately, we're covering that expense for the prison at this point in time. The good news is I'm not seeing any water, which is good because water needs to stay in pipes, and we've been able to have that continue to happen over there. So just some utility expenses. The balance sheet is the next addition. Total for the bank accounts, we're in pretty good shape. We're up over $1 million. We do have some receivables for matching funds and a placer reimbursement that are coming in. We're just waiting for this audit to get wrapped up and approved, and we'll make those entries and adjustments for ourselves. The other bigger thing I wanted to draw some attention to is on the payables on the backside under liabilities. That looks like a scary number. The bulk of that is actually the property that we need to transfer to Steve Morse from in the Jamesdale Industrial Park. So it's really a non-cash item. It's just going to be land. That's not something that's going to come out of the bank account. Other than that, I'll take any questions.
Did we happen to close on the property in Dansville?
Nope, not yet. I haven't heard from Andrew.
Possible.
Yeah.
Could check.
Yeah, we could, but I have not heard anything back. That'll be 351. Something like that. That could be a March closing. I mean, last time we talked to them was February and they wanted about a month, so.
Okay, is there any other questions on the financial report? Hearing none, I take a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
We want to do a budget amendment, realize that we missed something with our original budget. Maureen wanted some funding from IDA to do some programming at LDC. She put it on LDC. I didn't put it on IDA. So we need to do a budget amendment. We're looking for, is it 50 that you?
50.
50 is the number she settled on. This is her programming. The IDA every year does some sort of community development funding to the LCDC. Typically do it. We've done it in years past for up to like 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, 180.
Yeah, 150 we kicked along for a lot of years. So we're being kind of conservative, just looking at 50. She reserves the right to come back, although I think with this, she promised not to. I think that was what I heard the other day, so.
I might have said that.
We're looking to amend the IDA budget for a line item in there that will provide the LCDC with $50,000. That comes in the form of a contract.
And we'll execute contract, yeah.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
Bill for the minutes that Maureen will not come back.
I'll take the minutes.
Reserve the right to. Unfinished business, just want to keep, reminding Erica and Deb that we got a couple of missing books that are out there that we're trying to keep up on. So just some closing books that we need to get up on the website. The confidential evaluation of work performance.
I'm missing one. They're anonymous, so I don't know whose I'm missing. But if anybody didn't take that, we looked at it the last month. It's just an evaluation of, you know, how informed the board feels and,
Is that the monkey survey?
yep, it was in Survey Monkey.
Rank it 1 to 5, I think. the
Yep,
numbers
1 to
are.
5 ranking. So if anybody knows that they didn't take it, I can get you a link again if you need it. That goes in with our Paris
She'll
reporting.
tell us who you are.
Yeah.
Stretch, so.
Under new business, the 2025 annual report is out, hot off the press. The ink is still wet, I think. We just got this last week, so want to take a look at it. There's some great numbers in here, all these great photos. Thank you, Maureen, for putting it together and working with, I think Molly
Yeah.
helped us do some work on this, so blast in our past. But a lot of good information in here. Really appreciate you coming together with that. It helps us. I found a folder a couple of weeks ago that took us back to like 2000, I think, with annual reports. Punched out on the Smith Corona, a page and a half. So this is really good and memorializes a lot of the great work you're here. Director's comments. So we responded to, and this is something new, I guess I'm kind of adding or at least bringing in the loop on because we do this on an ongoing basis, but I don't think you've ever seen sort of the numbers that go along with it. So GRE, Greater Rochester Enterprise, is a partner agency that actually the county funds for us. We appreciate to the tune of about $16,500. GRE sources opportunities for us throughout the year. So kind of at random, I will get, I call it a site selection request that usually says an advanced manufacturing company is looking for 30,000 square feet, 26-foot ceilings, 20,000 gallons per day. No wastewater, they need gas, they've got 100 employees, they need some parking, blah, blah, blah. It usually outlines sometimes very little, sometimes very much. There were 4 responses that we put in with sites here in Livingston County. We responded, these are all code named, I didn't name them, but we responded to Project Potato, Project Brink, Cobra, and Motorhead. What we do is some of them will come in and say we want an existing building. And I can tell you, the existing buildings that are coming in request, they all want 26, 30-foot ceilings on everything. They all seem to want height. Nobody wants 10 and 11 like I got. But unfortunately, we don't have a good solid inventory of those types of existing buildings with that kind of height. But 25,000, 30-foot ceiling is a spec building that I would build tomorrow if we ever wanted to kind of go down that road. But I think we could lease that. But anyway, we respond to these. We put out the sites that we have in inventory, and we have packages that over the years have been developed, and we submit. Some of them are national firms that are just fishing. Some of them are local. I want to be in the greater Rochester area, and some of them develop into something, some of them don't. So it's hard to kind of put together any sort of metrics with these, other than the fact that you got to be in the game to play. So we submit and we go at it. We did have 2 broker inquiries. That kind of comes from knowing some of the folks in the real estate industry that come out and say, geez, I'm working with a company that's got a 350,000 square foot distribution center request. Do you have any properties? So we respond to those as well. Both of those are things that I will try and keep you as updated on as possible. I know they're going to be a standing item on our public services agenda. So for you 2 guys, it's kind of redundant, but we want to keep you posted on that. We do have a confidential project that we're working on. The proposal went in February. It goes in front of their board of directors on the 19th of March. Very excited about it and hope that we can land that, but I hope to have an update for you at our next meeting. It's a very large project, took a lot of time and a lot of different partners working on that. Armstrong is very anxious to get going. They're waiting for the weather to break, and they would love to get some shovels in the ground and do what they've got to do. So we maintain good contact with them. Jaguar Tubulars, we seem to have kind of kicked up another level of conversations with them. They're getting ready. This was the steel remanufacturing plant in Avon. They seem to be getting closer on all the financing that they need to do, and working with them closely, as well as their builders. Taylor, the builders, is who they're working with for GC. So hopefully I'll bring forward some more good news when the weather breaks here. New York Dansville 1, you already asked me about the closing. That has not happened. We hope very, very soon. So that we can look forward to hopefully in March. Horseshoe, if you haven't read the headlines, had a little bit of a blip. They tapped into an aquifer and have some water issues up in Caledonia. They're working to fix some of those problems, as we speak, I think. So, we'll see what happens to come from that. Another conversation that sort of came up and resurrected was Greenway Campground. So this was in Dundee. It was a project that we had approved several years ago that sort of kind of went on a back burner. It's now back on the front burner. A fellow by the name of Chad Bugman wants to get that kicked up, and we're working right now to sort of identify the project and scope of what he's got left to do. Could be something that we bring back to you, and we'll probably take a look at what the prior approval was. If it's too much time, it's expired or whatever, we might have to bring it back. But I'm trying to get my arms around that as we speak. Just met with him last week.
Did any of the facilities get opened up there? Because you got quite a, are any of those for?
The cabins?
Yeah.
Yes, he is renting some of the cabins that were up front. That was sort of the low hanging fruit, was that he had some lumber laying around and built these cabins and put them out by the road frontage. It took him 3 years to get approval. The Greenway goes right through the golf course, and it took them time to be able to. They might have been going under the Greenway. I think that was actually the permission that they were asking for, but they had to get some permissions from the Greenway to be able to work with that at their property. That's finally come through utilities. So that's kind of another impetus for him to start to resurrect this. I gotta get more of the details as to what's got planned, but it's still a campground. It's still an RV center. It's gonna have some cabins so that if you don't have an RV, you can still go stay there, but I saw swimming pool, I saw, kind of waterworks and things like that, so.
Does he have a water issue? Did he have a pipe for water or something?
I didn't think the water was out there yet. He says it is. So I guess I gotta get my facts straight as to whether or not they actually did get the water line run, but he claims they did. It's Pennymite Road, I think, it's right there where he would hook in. But I can ask the mayor and the supervisor. More to come on that.
But we still got that property in Caledonia, the village there on radar. You know, the old print place that we looked at.
We don't have that property,
No, I
but
know,
yeah,
but I mean, we were trying to market or help them out.
Yep. That's the old specialized printed forms. Alan Bailey Tag and Labels, the owner now. I think the price would be very, very, very feasible for anybody that wants it. I was always afraid of contamination, but they have told me that it's clean. We do have some brownfield money, we can do another report, verify that. It's an interesting building. The new stuff in the back is great.
It was about 25 acres.
It is a good chunk, yeah. I don't know exactly where, it's a big parcel. The front's got some demo. And the manufacturing is like 10-foot ceilings and concrete floors. It's a lot of posts, kind of broken up. Feels like it was one of those things that was added on and added on and added on. And it looks like a jigsaw puzzle, but yeah, that's still on radar. It's just it's huge. We don't know that.
You get anything back from Lavella on Mount Morris?
Did not.
property?
Nope. But you and I both heard they were out there.
Yeah.
They cut the locks.
Okay, anybody else got any questions for Bill?
As far as Gallon, I heard the town down like to get the road there. Can't steal the part, I guess,
Dedicated. Yes, talked to both Jim Campbell the other day, their town attorney. We got to do the road and the infrastructure. And I think the way that Jim was stating this, and it probably makes more sense to you, we've dedicated kind of pieces of it. He was saying, let's take a look at it holistically and just kind of, can we wrap it up and do the whole thing? And like put it under one dedication instead of trying to identify the piece that's left. Because I think there was some ambiguity as to whether this 1,500 feet got dedicated and this thousands left or whatever. Can we just say all of Tech Drive, all of Interstate Drive and
Yeah, as long as the town's willing to accept it.
put a bow on it? I think he will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
Yeah, they're
ready for it now because of the fact that one water line was the issue, but I don't know why we just can't do it from 5 to 20 over to 15.
That's what we would do, is put a bow on the whole thing and say, here's the dedication. And whatever was already done, we don't have to necessarily go back through and figure out, oh, well, this piece was done, but this piece wasn't.
I would just do a description on the entire thing.
Okay,
And even though there was pre-dedications, because what had happened over the years is that it was supposed to be dedication whenever there was
A parcel.
a
Yeah.
parcel was developed.
Yeah.
So that's what was going on at the time. But there's no harm in basically doing the whole thing as a whole, even though it's somewhat redundant for those small little patches here and there.
that's what Campbell was asking for on behalf of the town. So,
Nobody's going to say that.
Wednesday, he was talking to us.
Right.
So that's the, I think we've got the pen, so why don't I get you started with what we've got to do? Do I need to get a new legal description on that, on all of it?
Let me check with Andrew,
Okay,
probably.
if we do, then I probably need to get Kevin O'Donoghue involved and do a survey on it, but, it's ready. Surveyed at one point.
We can always force the town, this is a joke. We can always force the town to condemn it, land it or name. And then we don't have to pay for the survey.
That sounds shady, Jim. I don't know that
How we
I
gonna
don't know
pay?
that I want to propose that to the board.
I'm not your supervisors here, how would you feel?
You said eminent domain and I got scared. No, we'll figure that out, but yes, thanks for bringing that up. So yes, they are ready to take dedication and we can get that going.
Now they think that, I get hit up every once in a while, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
Jim and I have been playing phone tag and it kind of
Well,
went
did you-
silent and then he
Did you
brought it
pay
up.
for the plowing of the snow?
I did, yeah, so
Okay.
we are removing snow over there. The other one that was there, because water and sewer was standing there, is that we'll do the same thing and put a bow on all the infrastructure and get that, not water and sewer. Town has just water. Or is it vice versa?
No, it's vice versa. We have sewer, the town has water.
Gotcha, town's got water, water and sewer authority has sewer, so we'll get all that taken care of in the right.
so the water sewer would become towns along the road.
Sewer will become the authorities and the water will become the towns, yes, with the road.
So when I get it up again, I'll see.
In process, yeah. Have something for you to sign next month.
Yeah, give them a date, 4th of July.
A warm day, we can cut the ribbon on the thing. Yeah, that's a long time coming and unfortunately is we kind of hanging, we had that water line in conversation for several years about looking at problem. They have been very, very good to work with us. We're good.
Any other questions for the director? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Okay, we've already opened